What's going on, guys? Goose here, man, and coming back at you with a video. Saints Panthers today, and uh, this was a beatdown. Saints thoroughly got beat down the entire football game, offensively, defensively, coaching. It was a total failure by the coaching staff and the players, the way they played today, and give Carolina a hell of a credit, a lot of a credit, because their game plan, their game plan that they had was it was perfect. It was perfect. It was perfect, and the Saints just got beat down. This game wasn't even close. 26-7. It shouldn't even been that close. The Saints had like 100 and what they had like 100 and something 130 yards for a total offense, something like that. Let me look it up here. 128. 128 yards of total offense. 128. Saints just refused to try to run the football. They just refused to run the football. I mean, Jameis Winston was our leading rusher. He had 3 carries, 19 yards. Hill was 2 carries, 16 yards. Carolina did a great job taking Alvin Kamara out the football game. Alvin Kamara was a non-factor in this game. Christian McCaffrey, yeah, Christian McCaffrey's better than Alvin Kamara. Better. Uh, he's always getting yards. McCaffrey's always getting yards. Always. He had 72 yards on the ground and 65 yards receiving. So Christian McCaffrey, good player, very good player. Like I said, the Saints just couldn't do anything offensively. Jameis Winston, he wasn't the only reason why they lost this football game, but he was part of the reason why they lost this football game. Um, offensive line couldn't block. We couldn't run block, we couldn't pass block. Every time Jameis Winston was going back to pass, there was pressure in his face. Defensively, we barely got some pressure on Sam Darnold, and when we did get pressure on Sam Darnold, we threw the interception. We sacked him a few times, but for the most part, we really didn't do much, uh, especially in the first half, getting any kind of pressure against Sam Darnold and that and their offensive line. Just was an awful game for the Saints. And look, I said after they beat Green Bay, like I said, look, the Saints aren't as good as that. Saints aren't as good as they were week one, and they're not as bad as Green Bay's not as bad as they were week one. Somewhere around the middle. I don't think the Saints are this bad. I think I think it's just a bad matchup for the Saints. Um, and they just got our coach. Give Matt Rule and his coaching staff a lot of credit because they out coached Sean Payton and his staff today, and they're 2-0. We're 1-1. That's all it is in the NFL. NFL is all about wins and losses. So Saints got to move on. They got to move on. They got to play New England next week on the road. That's another tough game. His Belichick is a good coach, so it's another tough game. Another tough game next week. They're all tough games in the NFL. But the Saints are going to have to run the football better. I mean, there's just no way. There's no way that your leading rushers should be your quarterbacks. And Alvin Kamara and Tony Jones Jr. were just non-factors in the game. And then, of course, the line can't block. Uh, it is what it is. But congratulations to Carolina. They thoroughly beat the Saints down. From jump. I mean, from the opening kickoff to the end of the game, Carolina was the better football team, and it really wasn't even that close. It wasn't even that close. Saints had some opportunities to maybe make this game a little closer. They just couldn't do anything. They couldn't do it. They couldn't do it. And like I said, give Carolina all the credit because they're the ones that put pressure on Jameis Winston, and they forced the Saints just to be one-dimensional, and just was bad news for the Saints. So like I said, they got to move on. Even if they'd have won this game, you still got to move on into the next week because the NFL, it's a week to week battle in the NFL. There's 17 games now in this season. There's 17 games. a lot of games in the season. So I'll talk to you guys next time, and have a good one, guys.